Welcome to the Get Ready with God podcast. My name is Julie Taylor and I am your host, and I am not God. Obviously, I'm not an expert. I'm not even a scriptorian. I'm literally just a girl sitting in front of the microphone hoping God is real. The Get Ready with God podcast is the daily devotional podcast to help you see divinity in every day. I just want to recap a little bit of a journey that I've been on in the last week. And it really has been how the divinity has shown up for me in my life. And a few things happened, okay? Last week, I received the advanced copies of my book. I opened the package. I felt nothing. Everyone's like, oh my gosh, did you cry? No, I felt devoid of emotion. Then I started getting really nervous about releasing the book. And again, I know it's just a book out of millions of books and it's like not that deep, but the book is definitely the most vulnerable thing I have ever created. And so the thought, I had to write it with the thought that no one would ever read it. Now, like thinking of putting it out into the world, it's just vulnerable for me for a lot of reasons. So I was kind of processing that last week. And then on Sunday, we had a conversation in our women's group that I really, really loved. And it was led by the one and only Julie Magleby, who you all know by name now, my brilliant neighbor who I love. But we were talking about gifts and talents that we have and how to use them. And I just had this like overwhelming sense of feeling like, oh, nothing is mine. And not in a negative way, in a good way. I just was feeling like more and more the things that I create, I do feel a little bit detached from, not because I'm not emotionally invested. I care deeply about it, and that's why I do it. And I sacrifice a lot of time and money to do this side job that I do of the podcast and the book and the platform. And I do it because I think it's important and I feel guided by divinity to do it. And so I do it and I prioritize it. But what's really challenging is to care so deeply and also separate yourself from the results, both positive or negative. So all these feelings had been building up for me all week of like, oh, I'm going to put this book into the world and I don't know how it's going to be received. And honestly, yes, I'm afraid about like, are people going to like it or not? But one of my biggest fears around sharing stuff around faith is that my experience can be weaponized. I have seen it happen where people will like use my story and my experience against their friends and family who have left faith and religion, and they've been like, see, she found a way back. And I like, that is never, ever, ever my intention and not what I want my story to be used for and not what I would stand for. But the reality is I don't have control over what is done. You know that song Breathe from 2005? Just breathe. There's a line in that song that I love. It says, these words are my diary screaming out loud, and I know that you'll use them however you want to. That's what this feels like. Like the book is my soul screaming out loud. Everyone suddenly has access to it, and I can't control what you do with it. And that's uncomfortable, but you know, we're working through it. We're preparing for launch day. But I just have had this kind of block around marketing it but also like peace. Anyway, it's just been a really interesting experience. But when I was sitting in church on Sunday and having that conversation of like gifts and talents, I just was reminded that how deeply I believe that nothing I have, any gifts I have, any talents I have, any skills that I have, even ones that I have worked to cultivate and grow that haven't come naturally to me, I don't think any of it is mine. And my only goal at this point in my life is to align my will with God so closely that I'm using everything that I have for good. And all of my money, all of my time, all of my energy, all of my talents. Genuinely, that is what I want. And I'm not perfect at it, but I've lived the life before where I really was obsessed with personal achievement. And I was really obsessed with getting validation for those personal achievements. And that's just not where I'm at anymore. And it can be kind of confusing because that was such like a deep part of me. And it can be a little bit disappointing, honestly, because when I do achieve things, it doesn't hit like it used to. Holding my finished book 10 years ago would have put me on a high, but I think that's exactly the reason why I wasn't ready to write it yet. And now I hold it and I just think, okay, good, I got that done. And I want to stop and I want to celebrate and I want to feel good. I don't want to just dismiss anything that I do, but it just feels so much more like I'm doing the things that I feel like I need to do to get them done and so that they exist, and much less about what can I achieve or how great can I become or how famous can I get or how many views can I get. It's just a very different motivation and a very different experience. And it's still pretty new to me to like move through the world this way and move through the world this way as a creator. And so when I think about the book or this podcast or anything that I do, none of it is mine. None of it is mine. And if you've been on the internet a while, you know the game of having your work like stolen or copied. That happens a lot. It happens a lot. It always has. I think it always will. And I used to get really, really riled up when people would like take my words and put their own thing on it. One time a company took my tagline and put it on like a shirt and took it. Like it's happened a lot. And I used to spend a lot of time and energy getting really worked up about it. And now I just really operate from a place of like, well, it's not mine. And rather than being really mad about someone taking my work or knocking it off, I'm just going to work on creating the next thing. Like we're just going to keep creating. We're going to keep moving on. And if they need it, then great. I'm going to focus over here and I'm going to keep moving on. And it's just allowed this like, I'm sorry, it's so cheesy and buzzwordy, but this like spirit of abundance in my life where it's like, well, more will come. More money will come, more time will come, more sleep will come, more energy will come, more creative will come, more inspiration will come. And so give it freely and don't be attached to the results. And so if I was launching this book and feeling so stressed about, I wanted to be on the New York Times bestseller list and I want to hit this amount of numbers and here's my marketing plan. And I'm going to put effort into it because I think effort matters. And I want to do the best I can. But I also just have to live in a world where it's going to reach the people it needs to reach. Some people will love it. Some people will hate it, just like everything else in the world. But it was never mine. And it's helpful to me. It's helpful to me as someone who is susceptible of getting really wrapped up in the feedback loop, which I think most of us are. And so I just want to share one more part of this. And that is on Sunday after this lesson, I felt really strongly like I needed to post this video on Instagram about a part of my church service. And I'm telling you, I wanted to do this as much as I wanted to punch myself in the face. Like I don't like talking about specific religion here or on my platform because that's just not what I care about. I care about you finding divinity and connecting with God the way that you need to, the places that you need to. I really genuinely don't care about you joining my church or thinking like having a positive opinion about my church even. Anyway, it's something that's really, really uncomfortable for me and I don't usually talk about it, but I felt like I needed to talk about it. And the comments started pouring in and there's mixed reviews, right? There's mixed comments. Some people loved it. Some people are criticizing my church. Some people are saying her experience is not real. And it was just an interesting thing having been in this new place where that morning I thought nothing is mine. So when I feel inspired to do something, when I feel like I need to do something, I'm going to do it and I'm going to practice not being attached to the results. And so still these comments are pouring in and it's been a really good exercise. And like, well, I felt like I needed to do it. And so some people are going to like it and some people are going to hate it. But I did what I felt like I needed to do. And the book is that, the podcast is that, a lot of my life is that. But I think if we can function from this place of, it was never mine. So just give your love, give your service, give your time, give your money, give your energy, because it's not yours. It's not even yours to give. This is a new place for me. So I'm not articulating it very well. But to me, it is a more fun way to live. It's just more fun to give of ourselves freely and then to power up those who are also doing it. Like I love nothing more than giving credit to others. We don't need to take credit for ourselves. And I think this is a little bit countercultural right now of just the individualistic nature of our culture. And it's a part that I think is kind of plaguing us and causing us to get stuck in criticism and negativity rather than creation. The thing is, I do think we have a responsibility to do the best we can to not cause harm and to put good and light into the world. And so I'm not saying you could recklessly share a video or recklessly do something and be like, I'm not attached to the outcome. But when we feel inspired to do something, sometimes we just have to do it and the results can't be the thing that made it worth it or not. I don't know. Now I'm just repeating myself. We're going to wrap it up. I hope you had a great holiday weekend. I hope Thanksgiving was beautiful for you. It might have been terrible. These things can really go either way. Love you. Bye.